The injuries are starting to pile up, and with that, our form's kind of falling off the cliff. Let me show you. Yes, hello, welcome in to Living in Sports here for the Killie boys on Football Manager 21. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button for more daily Football Manager content here with the Killie boys. Yeah, if you look at that screen in front of you, can see a lot more red than there was the last time you saw us. You last saw us our 2-1 defeat to Celtic, which had been our first piece of red, our first loss of the season. Since then, we've lost a few more, and some of that, especially recently, is down to a lot of injuries. We'll get to that in but a moment. I'll show you all the results we've had. You can see them on the screen, but I'll quickly talk through them. We beat Dundee 3-0 in the Scottish Premiership. A couple of goals for Cronetta in that one. We then lost to Hibs in the Betfred Cup semi-final. Disappointing there. We then beat Cercle Bruges 3-1 in the second game we played against them. Beat them 6-0 in the last episode, remember. Beat them 3-1 away from home. Thanks to Cronetta, Jovic and Boba. We then lost to Hibs 3-0 in the league, which was a big surprise, but it does show there we lost to Hibs twice this season. There in the Betfred Cup semi-final and in the Premiership. Maybe a bogey team for us. We then played against Hamilton where we won 5-1. A hat-trick from Manuel Castellon alongside goals from Thomas and Lambert in that one. Olympiacos were a nice opponent. We won 4-1. A whole selection of people scoring goals for us there. Castellon, Hamill, Christie and Boba. We then beat Motherwell 4-0 thanks to a hat-trick from Roman Buchert, who, damn, that's a blast from the past, that name. He's been playing on the left-hand side, or at least was at that point. I'll explain why in just a minute. St Mirren were a nice opponent. We beat them 5-0, a hat-trick from Hamill, a goal from Cronetta and Stacey. We beat Shakhtar 3-1. The reason you've not seen that game is because we'd already won the Euro Cup Group H, Europa League group by that stage. Technically, it was still mathematically possible if Shakhtar beat us by 9 goals in that game, but that wasn't going to happen, so I chose to show you the last 2 league games of this season. So we played Shakhtar, we won 3-1, thanks to goals from Sika and 2 from Boba. Then lots of injuries hit us. 1-1 against Dundee United, thanks to Ryan Morris' own goal in the 92nd minute. A game we did not play well in, but we should have won. We then played against Hearts, where we drew 1-1, thanks to a goal from Boba, after going down 1-0 early on. And then we lost to Rangers 3-2. So 3 games without a win in the league. They scored in the 92nd minute. Very frustrating. We did dominate that game, actually. We should have won it. But a 3-2 defeat. And that leaves the Scottish Premiership looking like this. We're now 7 points behind Rangers. Had we won that game, we'd be on 42 points alongside Celtic. Rangers would be on 43. It'd be a lot closer. But unfortunately, losing to Rangers has kind of messed that up a little bit. You can see Cronetta, it's kind of slowed down a little bit. He slowed down. He's still got 20 goals in 18 games. But only a 7.63 average rating, dropping down there. Yeah, he kind of went through a little bit of a dry spell, as you'll have seen there, where he didn't really score a huge number of goals, hence Castellon was getting in. But yeah, kind of fallen off. That 2 draws and a defeat. If we'd had 2 wins instead of those 2 draws, we'd had 4 extra points on 43. That'd be fine. If we'd beaten Rangers, say we'd be on 42 and they'd be on 43, it'd be a lot closer. But we're now 7 points behind Rangers, and it's looking as if it might be tricky to try and catch up with them, to be honest. And you can see our Euro Cup, our Europa League group there. We topped the table, 6 wins, 23 goals for, 3 against, goal difference of 20. Shakhtar's was 0 and they still got through after winning the other games. They beat Olympiacos twice and Cercle Bruges twice. Yeah, nice dominant performance. The draw hasn't been made for the next round yet. We don't know who we have, but that's at some point in February or March. But yes, this on the left-hand side here down the bottom is the reason why we have been struggling recently. All these injuries. Jamie McGowan, our backup keeper's injured. Sika, our right back. Booker, who's one of our backup wide midfielders. He scored a hat-trick in the game, got injured and hasn't played since then. The reason he was playing is because Eddie Nketiah has been out for quite a long time. He's been out for a couple of months. Cronetta is now injured. He's out for another 8 days. Boba is injured, out for another 11 days. Castellon's out for another 5 days. So basically all of our attacking players have got injured, which kind of means I've had to jiggle things about. I've had to bring up Adrian Bagazzo. I can't remember if I mentioned buying him last season, but we did for £300,000. We bought him from Melgar in Peru. He was out in loan in Falkirk last year, but he only scored 6 goals in 32 games. he is a first choice striker for Peru at 19 years old. He scored 3 goals in 14 games. But yeah, he's not been that great in the one game he's played for us so far. 6.3 rating in the game against Rangers. It also means I'm behind because we don't really have many wide midfielders available. We've had to move Jovic out to the left-hand side and Hamill's filling in at attacking mid. But it means we don't have a huge amount of depth on the bench for any changes we have to make either. I mean, we've got a fairly full-strength defence and centre midfield. You know, just having to have Rodriguez fill it right back when Sika is injured. But yeah, it just didn't seem to be clicking going forward. You know, especially Jovic it's not involved as much in the game out on the left-hand side, and it's not really that great for him, to be honest. But hopefully some of these players start coming back. We've got 2 games today. I don't think they'll be available for any of those games, but you'll get to see this kind of makeshift front four and see how they get on in this game against Aberdeen today, and then Ayr to finish off our calendar year here in 2029. So yeah, the team you saw there is the team we're going to go with. Morris in goal, Thomas and Anderson at the back, Rodriguez filling in on the right hand side and Guerrero on the left, Pena alongside Stacey in midfield with Hamill just in front, Lambert on the right, Jovic out there on the left hand side, and Begazzo up front. Let's see if he can score his first goal for Kilmarnock. See, maybe. He didn't against Rangers, maybe he can in this game. Here we go, an early highlight. The ball cleared by the Aberdeen goalkeeper and flicked on, but Bobby Thomas will collect that. He plays it forward to Hamill. And back into Anderson and Guerrero, and can we get this ball up the field toward Begazzo, and maybe he can get his first goal for us. Guerrero with the ball again, and Stacey and Jovic who's out there on the left-hand side. Hamill through toward Begazzo, and it's wide of the goal. He's not quite Crenetta, is he, with his finishing ability, and that's wide of the target, and it's still 0-0. Throw in on the right hand side from Rodriguez into Hamill, swung in towards Jovic, headed away though. Stacey collects it, finds Hamill on the right hand side. Can he hit this or swing it in? Rodriguez into Lambert, Lambert hits it back to Rodriguez, Rodriguez swings it in, Jovic heads it, and Jovic gets the goal. His 8th of the season, coming in off that left hand side in the middle of the box there. He's kind of normal position, I suppose he'd be as an attacking midfielder as well, and he heads that ball in. So he kind of pings about a little bit, gets out to Rodriguez who swings this in. Jovic gets away from his man, heads it in that bottom corner, and we're up 1-0. I would say it's the sort of game that I'd expect to be up 1-0, but Aberdeen are only 3 points behind Hibs, and we've lost to Hibs quite a few times this season, so I'm not going to, expect anything in these games, especially against the mid-table side. I think we drew Aberdeen earlier on in the season as well, so that ball's played forward toward Black. He's got 7 defenders around him. Surely nothing will come of this for them. Perry hits it, and it's gone in. Well, his first goal of the season. It's an absolute screamer. And what did I say? Nothing will come from this. And it did. You can see there down there. Look how many blue shirts are around there. And yet somehow he pings it to one of them on the edge of the box. They get to him. He just hits it. And Morris is beaten. And it's 1-1. And one more highlight just before half time here. Kennedy with it into Black and Boyle. And is this going to be another Aberdeen highlight, or could we get the ball back? Mackenzie on the right hand side for Aberdeen swings it in toward Perry, who heads it, and it's just over the bar. Nearly his 2nd goal for Aberdeen there. But it's 1-1 here at half time. I'm going to say, go and put out a worthy display. Let's have a look to see what's happening. Rangers are winning. Celtic are drawing, or possibly, yeah, I think they're drawing. I think we're 3 points behind them, weren't we? So, yeah, drawing with Hibs there. Lambert swings in this corner. It's headed by Hamill. It's over the bar. But we really need to keep winning. We can't let Rangers build a 9-point lead, it would be at this stage. That's a big gap to us. Should that happen, and we'll bring on Chrissy for Jovic on the left-hand side. Guerrero's currently off injured, which is not ideal. So Lambert took that throw. Hamill swings it in. It's headed away, and Stacey collects it and finds Pena. And we've lost our left back, which is not good at all. It's played forward toward Hamill. Hamill through to Begazzo. Begazzo gets his first ever goal for Kilmarnock. It could be the winning goal in this game here. You never know. What a lovely finish for him. Pena with the ball here. Plays it back toward Darren Anderson, who launches the ball forward. Hamill flicks that ball on, and Begazzo gets past the big centre half and slots that into the corner. And it's 2-1. And we've brought Sibley on for Guerrero. We've brought Lunan on for Stacey in the midfield. Rodriguez with the throw in here to Lambert and back to Rodriguez. Drives down the right-hand side. Will he hit this himself? He swings it in and Lambert heads the ball in. Gives us a 2-goal cushion here just with 10 minutes to go. And that should be enough to win this game. And just looking at the bottom left-hand side, Hibs have gone ahead against Celtic, which means there's a chance we could overtake Celtic here. Rodriguez with the ball into Lambert, who flicks that in with his head. And now we are ahead of Celtic in the league. Rangers are still winning. They're winning 2-0 at the moment. So Looks like they're going to keep a 7-point advantage. Celtic have pulled one back, and it's now a draw. But we've got another chance to get a fourth goal here. Lunan with it. Into Hamill. Out to Sibley, who's come on for Greno on the left-hand side. Sibley swings it in. It's headed away, and Ruth has the ball, and he plays it forwards. And there's absolutely nobody there. So Bobby Thomas will take his time and collect this and play it forward toward Lambert and Pena and Rodriguez. It's passing in triangles here. Lambert down that right-hand side. Bagazzo's in the middle if he wants to use him. He doesn't. He kicks off the defender, and Pena drives forward with it, swings it in, and Bagazzo is it? No, it's Ryan Hamill gets the ball, and they were both basically in the same position. Not sure who was going to get it, but it was Hamill, and that's 4-1. It was looking a bit worrying right at the start of this game. But we've pulled everything back there, and it's been a nice 4-1 victory. Swung in, saved by Palmer. Bagazzo and Hamill are both there, and Hamill's the one with the last touch, and he makes it 4-1. Lambert swings the ball in from the corner. Anderson heads it. That was nearly a very late fifth goal for us there, but there is one more highlight, it looks like. Dundee United pulled one back against Rangers, but not enough to change the score line, or so should I say, to change the final result. Celtic have made it 2-2 again. But again, that just means they're going to get 1 point in that game. And we are going to win this one 4-1, I hope. I'm not sure why we're still playing with all this added time, because the game finished a wee while ago. Bagazzo's got it, and that is the end of the highlight. I hate it when they do that. I mean, nothing's going to happen. Why show us it? So Celtic drew with Hibs, and Rangers beat Dundee United, which means that Celtic stay 1 point ahead of us, and Rangers are still 7 points ahead of us. There's one game left before the mid-season break. Hopefully, we can pull more points in against Rangers and Celtic. They are trying to close that gap. Otherwise, they could be quite far ahead, especially Rangers, going into the second half of the season. And the next game is against Ayr in 4 days, an Ayrshire derby to finish the season. We'll see you for that one. Well, good news. We play the day after everybody else, but Celtic and Rangers both won, so it doesn't really matter. It's not changed anything at all for us. We're still miles ahead of Hearts, who ended up losing to Rangers today. They're on 29 points. Should we win, we go on to 45, which is a 16 points between ourselves and Hearts in fourth. So top three is basically guaranteed, but we really want this win of this league title. That's the aim anyway, and we need to beat Ayr today to do that. I say today, technically tomorrow. But you see, they're down in 11th place, so hopefully we can get the win. See you in just a second. Right, so here we are for the game against Ayr. A few changes from last time. Gareno is struggling for some fitness this time round, so he is not getting to play. But we do have Sika back from injury. He can play 75 minutes, so he will start on the right-hand side, and probably Rodriguez will come on for him at some point in the second half. But the rest of the team looks like this. Morrison goal, Thomas and Anderson at the back, as always. Those three solid at the back for us. Sika on the right, and Sibley will fill in for Gareno at left back. Vlalic alongside Lunan in midfield, because Pena's struggling for some fitness. You can see him on the bench there. And because Ryan Hamill's struggling for some fitness, we're going to play Stacey at attacking midfield. On the left-hand side, Jovic, right-hand side, Lambert, and Bagazzo up front after he scored his first league goal. In fact, his first goal ever for Kilmarnock. Hopefully, he can score another one here against Ayr. Let's get into it. And here we go, Kilmarnock in their blue and white stripes, as always, playing against Ayr, who are in their white with black. And hopefully, it's a nice, easy win for us here against second bottom in the table in this Ayrshire derby. Lunan's got the ball. He's found Jovic. Jovic found Lambert and acres of space into Bagazzo. And he should have finished that, but he's cleared away. But Lunan's got the ball again. I'd say he should have finished there. I thought we were maybe going to have another chance, but not quite. It's the sort of game we can't afford to slip up on. We've already drawn against Dundee United, we've drawn against Aberdeen. Those sort of games should be wins. I can understand the games against Hearts, where maybe drawing or losing, but certainly not against teams in the bottom half. So we can't afford to drop points here against Ayr. And Jovic has found Sika and Lampert's in acres of space. He hits it off the defender about 4 times. Stacey's with it now, and Sika back to Vlalic. It's going to go across to Lunan, and as Lunan's going to find a man down the line, he finds Sibley into Jovic, who hits it, and what a strike, son. That is outstanding. In the games before, the two I've shown you today, he's kind of lost out on that left-hand side when he's having to cover it there. He wasn't really doing much, not getting involved in the game, but these last two, you can see he's been really involved. Sibley's found Jovic, and Jovic just throttled that into the near post. Very nice finish indeed. Half an hour gone, and it's 1-0. Anderson with the free kick, 40 minutes gone, 5 minutes till half-time. Vlalic into Lunan, and Stacey is very far forward, remember, for him. And Bagazzo, I don't know what this goalkeeper's deal is. He catches him on, just kicks it straight away. but it ends up being nothing. Begazzo had a chance there to get a goal, but didn't quite come up. A payoff for him there. Yeah, Stacey's playing a lot more advanced, obviously, in that attacking midfield role than he's used to when he plays in central midfield. And I'm not sure if it really suits him, to be honest. And it's another highlight here, but Ayr start with the ball on the left-hand side. It's played forward, but Thomas intercepts it. And Lambert, who's been playing very well for us, comes away with the ball. The ball comes back to Vlalic and Lunin. And Lunin plays it forward toward Jovic. And Jovic is the star man here, covering on that left-hand side. His second goal of the game. His third of the episode after scoring a goal in the last game. I'm sure he did, unless I've just made that up. It only happened about 10 minutes ago, so how could I be that forgetful? But he certainly scored 2 here today. It's a lovely, lovely finish from him. Vlalic with the ball forward into Lunin, and then Jovic thrashes that. And again, near post strike, he likes doing that. And we're up 2-0 now. 12 shots to 1, 70% of the ball. Total domination here in this Ayrshire derby. It's going to be a nice, comfortable win, I hope, for us here. Sibley throws the ball in. It's cleared away towards Vlalic and Lunin and finds Stacey and Jovic for his hat-trick. Oh, it's wide of the target. That was the easiest one of the lot. We've made a triple substitution. We brought Rodriguez and Nastic on at the back for Sika and Darren Anderson. Anderson was surprisingly tired. And also we brought on Ryan Christie on attacking mid for Daniel Stacey. We'll see how that happens. Christie obviously getting very old now. He's well into his 30s. I think he's 34 and he'll be 35 nearly. So can't quite play as often, doesn't really have the legs anymore. But still an important member of the squad with a lot of experience both at club and national level. Jovic here throws the ball to Begazzo, and Begazzo scores a goal. It's his second of the season. I was worrying it might be offside, but it's not. A lovely finish from him. Lukic with the assist. Very nice indeed. You see Luka Jovic here, or sorry, not Luka, Ljubo Jovic drives forward, threads the ball through to Begazzo, who's in behind the defenders, and he kind of half chips that over the goalkeeper and it picks it 3-0. 2 goals for him in his last 2 games. It must be a good luck charm, you guys watching him. He's nearly offside, but not quite, because he didn't do very well in his first game against Rangers, but he scored a goal in each of the last 2 games. And later on, it's a highlight here. Ayr kicking the ball about, but it comes off us and we come away with the ball now. Out as far as Stevenson, though. That actually could be an Ayr highlight. He hits it, and it's a great save from Ryan Morris. What a save from the boy. He moved up from a 7.1 to a 7.3 just with that save. And it's 93 minutes on the clock. We're only meant to play 93. Get that whistle blown, ref. I don't want to give up a clean sheet here. It doesn't look like we're going to. Lots of yellow cards from us today, surprisingly. Some days we have lots, some days we have hardly any at all. That ball's played forward. Come on, it's 94 minutes played now. We don't want to be playing this anymore. And finally, that full-time whistle's blown. We win 3-0, and that makes the league table, that was harder for me to say than it should have been. The league table, look, a lot better than it did before that game. We're back to just a point behind Celtic, 7 behind Rangers. It's been a big turnaround the last month and a half. Remember, we were well clear at the top of the table before that. Just at the last episode, we were well ahead at the top of the table, but now not so much. It'll be important when we play Rangers to make sure that we do beat them twice in the next 2 times we play them. We can't afford to drop points against teams below us. It's definitely a 3-horse race, but at the moment there's 1 horse with a little bit of a head start, and that is Rangers going into the second half of this season. So the next episode will come back at some point in January or just after the January window and show you some of the signings we've made in January. If we make any, there might be a few young ones that have already agreed to sign on provisional deals that might come through. I know that information. There are, so you'll get to see some of those. If you have enjoyed this episode, then please do leave a like on the video. It really does help out the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until the next one, we'll see you then.